Disney's handing out coupons to get people to buy tickets. And beach towns that are normally packed this summer, it's not Shark Week. They're just got no guests. They're begging for them. And it's not just 2025, it's 2026 and into 2027. The Trump tourism collapse is here in full swing. Let's break down what's happening, how you can take advantage of it, and how you can protect yourself. So, under Trump's new vows from his big, beautiful bill, we've got increased costs for families to come to the United States, separate from politics and the border and everything else. Just to bring your family of four from Canada into the United States, you could be spending an extra $1,000. Are you over in Europe? Are you in Asia or Africa? And you're someone who has money, wants to vacation in the United States, you could be spending multiple thousands of dollars between fees that you're not going to get back and a refundable fee if you're a good citizen or if you're a good visitor. So with all of that, now you have to add on top all the politics. And every day we hear another story of a foreign visitor who's coming to the United States legally. They're here with all their documents, they're getting harassed at the border, and then they're getting sent back home. So let's start with this one. Someone goes to the border from Canada to the United States, and Border Patrol asks the following question: what do you think of the President of the United States? What does that have to do with anything? But they're asking it. And if you don't kiss the ring and give the right answer, you'll find yourself detained, put in a cell, asked for your phone, not politely. You'll be searched. Your phone will be searched. And then you will get this stamp that says, don't come back for 5 years, you're banned. This is what's going on at the border with legitimate Canadian citizens trying to come into the United States and spend their tourism dollars. And they're going right back home and telling the entire world what's going on. If you've never traveled internationally, let me just ask you a question. What do you think you should be asked when you come to the border? What are your names? Do I have all your documents? Who's in your party? How about this one? What are you coming here for? Oh, we're going to see Mickey Mouse. Oh, okay. Where are you staying? How long do you plan to stay? Do you have hotel reservations? And then here's the other big one. Do you have plans to go back home? Where in that conversation do you ask someone, so what do you think about the Epstein files? Or what do you think about J.D. Vance? Or the big one, so what do you think about our president here? Because as a recent tourist found out, when you say, I'm glad he's not our president, you get a big stamp and a denial. And here's the other part that makes this worse. Now you've been banned from entry in the United States. You're never going to get that rescinded. The cost to do that is prohibitive, and it's not worth it. And when you go to another country, you're going to be asked, have you ever been banned entry anywhere? And you better say yes, because failing to disclose that fact is usually far worse than disclosing it. It's common sense here. This is a scarlet letter that will carry with you for years, all because some asshole in Border Patrol wants you to kiss the ring of his cult leader. So as you can see, I'm back in the London room. We spent 3 days detained in Heathrow. And a lot of this has to do with the Trump administration. People aren't flying into the United States. They're canceling flights. They're going elsewhere. And airlines are changing planes en route. So when we had one plane that was delayed because of weather, there was not enough capacity to reroute people. So this mechanical delay on day 2, that just gets compounded because, again, there's still no planes to move people on. Now there's this whole group of people sitting in the airport waiting to fly home. And the airlines are moving people based upon, let's be honest, the class of your flight and ticket. You know, all of you people back in coach, you're struggling. You know, you'll be lucky to get a voucher for free water at the water fountain. Now, then you have all of these people trying to get on a plane that has a mechanical problem and there are no parts available and there is no spare plane. There's just not capacity to move people from Europe to the US. So what you have is a plane that when it finally boarded on day 3, and I have all the video for it. We've posted it earlier. We have, as they say, shown you the receipts. That, huge chunks of the plane were empty. I had my own bed that went from window to window. There was no one. It was just me in that row. Now, because our flights were delayed, the airlines juggled us around, and they did this one nonsense thing where they put the 6 of them up front and moved me into the back for no reason. I mean, there was plenty of space, but for whatever reason, that's how the seat algorithm did it. And the flight attendants came back a couple times asking me, "Hey, do you want to move up? There's empty seats next to your wife." And I was like, "No, I'm back here already. Here's my pillow. Here's my bed. I'm laid out here." It was just, and every other row was exactly the same. This was a midday flight that was already a canceled flight, and it was a plane that had delayed across 3 days in Heathrow. So yes, a few people would have left, a few people would have hopped on. There's always a chance of a standby. In all of that, the entire back of the plane, for the most part, everybody had their own row. If not their own section, their own entire row, window to window. That's a problem. This is summertime. This is when those planes should be cattle cars, just crammed full of people trying to come here to spend their tourist dollars, and they're not. So let's take a turn another direction here. Let's talk about the mouse. So over at Disney, they're having really hard times with ticket sales. And the way Disney is handling it is they're giving you coupons, gift certificates, if you buy some of their tickets. Now, they can't lower the price of the tickets because it's published. People already bought it. That would be disastrous PR news. But they can have a special promo. So I want to ask you, when was the last time you heard of Disney having tickets on sale? Oh, they're not on sale. The price hasn't changed. Yeah, they are. They're on sale. Because if I bought a ticket a month ago for $1,200, and today I can go buy it for $1,200, and here's your $200 Disney gift card. That's a sale. I don't care how you try and wrap that piece of crap, that's on sale. And that's what's going down at the parks. All right, so let's talk about the shores. First off, it's Shark Week. Okay, dancing sharks and all that stuff. If you don't know the history of the USS Indianapolis, you should look it up. You should thank Captain Quigg. He's the one in the initial Jaws who did this great rendition. The first time he did it drunk, for real drunk. Apologized because he did a horrible job. Apparently thought he could act and be hilarious when he's drunk, and like most drunks, found out that they're not actually that funny to the non-drunks in the room. So he came back the next day sober and gave this awesome piece that made it into the final cut of the film. Sharks aren't scaring people away from the shore this year. It's Trump. It's Trump and the MAGA cult. They're chasing people away from the shores all of the United States. Okay, if you have never rented at the shore, let me explain to you how shore economics work. It's the end of July. You're not getting a house at the shore. That's it. That's it. They're booked. Now, what about next year? Well, the people who are in the house right now have first dibs to deposit for their same week next year. They're going to lock it in. And they might lock it in 2 years out. That's how popular the shore is normally. But thank you to Trump and the Trump travel slump, you can get yourself houses at the shore in July right now. That is unheard of. And this is not just affecting, a vacation home. Or not vacation properties, the vacation resorts. It's affecting vacation property. There's a huge slump going on in real estate. And all of these things are just started. We've been talking about them for months because we've been tracking them. But they're just starting to show up on the radar at the 6:30, 7 o'clock news. And you have to listen for it because they're reporting it, but they're reporting it very subtly with things like, hey, Disney's having a deal. Or, hey, have you thought about going to the shore but you didn't book in time? There's some rooms available if you can snag them at the last minute. They are absolutely putting a positive spin on all this stuff. But it's just a lie. There's a travel collapse going in. All you got to do is look at our comments. By the way, to everyone who's watching this, please post a comment, tell me what you are seeing, and tell us what you are doing with your vacation plans. We want to know from you what you're seeing and what you're doing. And if you get a chance, click the like button, hit subscribe, help the channel grow. But most importantly, post a comment. Ann and I read every one of them. We try and respond to almost all of them. And we want to know what you're seeing and how it's impacting your vacation. Whether you're flying to the US or flying to Europe, whether you're going to the parks, whether you're going to the shore, or whether you've got a vacation home that you've decided you're just not coming to the US anymore and you're putting it up for sale. And you know what? Price be damned, however much of a loss they have to take, they don't care. They're not coming back here. And that's the Trump travel slump. And that is 100% thank you, MAGA. You have reaped what you sow. And every one of these MAGA people that work at shore towns, and let's be honest, a big shore town state is a red state, Florida, and they are going to feel it. North Carolina, big shore town, red state, they're going to feel it. And they're going to feel the burn from this. And this is going to go on for years. Portside Politics. Click like, click subscribe, but most importantly, we want to hear your comments, and thank you for tuning in.